It was perhaps the most unique school in Marquette history, from the way teachers taught their lessons to the way students could be admitted. J.D. Pierce. NMU began its life in 1899 as the Northern State Normal School. One of the school's primary missions was to train the future educators of Upper Michigan, and it became apparent that the best way to train those educators was to actually let them teach. So just a year after Northern began classes, they opened the John D. Pierce Training School, funded by the state and named after the father of the Michigan public school system, the first state superintendent of public education. The K-12 school was set up in an unusual manner. Each class was taught by Northern State Normal students who worked with a critic teacher, an experienced educator who supervised the whole process. Classes were taught in Longyear and K Hall, but in 1925, a separate building for the school was constructed on campus, which gave students their own space, but also allowed them access to the science labs, auditoriums, and other facilities of the college. Unlike other public schools in Marquette, which separated schools by neighborhoods, J.D. Pierce was a melting pot school. Anyone was eligible to attend, and classes were free. At its peak in the 1950s, the school had 350 students and 25 teachers. In 1961, news came that Northern Michigan College would be shutting down the high school part of Pierce, thanks to a state legislative decision to not fund training schools the same way that they were funding public schools. The elementary school at Pierce continued for another decade, but after the passage of the Michigan Educational Reform Act of 1968, it was decided that fall to have a phased shutdown of the school so that it would be closed for good at the end of the 1970-71 school year.